Fine. You have to calculate the mean of this given distribution where the marks are given 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and so on. And the frequency is given, number of students. Number of students here is the frequency. This is the uh, this is the marks is the one that you will have to find the mean of. Okay. What you see, observe, the first thing is that the class intervals that are given here, they are all class limits and not class boundaries. You see, they are non-overlapping. If you see 11 to 20, and then you have 11 to 20 you have, and then you have 21 to 30, and then you have 31 to 40. So these are all in the class intervals. These are all class limits that are given to you. Okay. Now, as I told you in the beginning, for mean you can work with class limits. For mean you can work with class limits. Okay. Or if you are uncomfortable, you always change it to class boundaries for your mean only. Okay. Now here I have worked with class limits, with class boundaries. Okay. Why I have worked with class boundaries? Because I recommend, although in mean, even though you can use your class limits, okay, but still I recommend that you convert them to class boundaries because that should be the safest, because that is what we do for median also and for mode also. So whenever you get class limits, convert them to class boundaries and then work. It will be convenient for you. So your first column will be for your class intervals. So your first column here is for your class limits, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and so on till 71 to 80. The next column is is for your class boundaries. Okay, because class limits are given, that's why I convert them first to my class boundaries. How do I convert them? I add, I subtract zero point 0.5 from 11 and I add zero point 0.5 to 20. I subtract zero point 0.5 from 21 and I add zero point 0.5 to 30. Okay, this is how I convert my class limits to class boundaries. You have done this in your class 9 also, how to convert class limits to class boundaries and how to calculate the adjustment factor. The adjustment factor here is zero point 0.5. That is why we are adding and subtracting zero point 0.5. We subtract zero point 0.5 from the lower class limit and we add zero point 0.5 to the upper class limit. So 11 from here, we are subtracting zero point 0.5, and from here, we are actually adding zero point 0.5. Here, we are subtracting zero point 0.5 and here we are adding zero point 0.5. Okay, to get the corresponding class boundary, we do it for each and every class limit to get all the corresponding class boundaries. Now, once we get the class boundary, the third column that we are going to make here, third column will be obviously for your frequency. Okay, we made this second column. In fact, in all the cases, our second column is normally for your frequency, but here we have made the second column as class boundaries because class limits were given. Okay, so now our third column becomes our frequency. So for frequency, you have 2, 6, 10, and so on till 4. So I make that column for frequency. And the fourth column, obviously, because it is a frequency distribution, the fourth column will be for your class mark or mid values. So this is for your class mark or mid values. And we refer to this as X. This column is for X, mid values X or class mark X. And what is your class mark? Class mark is the lower class boundary. The first one, let's say consider this, how to get 15.5. You consider the class boundary here, 10.5, the lower class boundary, plus 20.5, the upper class boundary, and divided by 2. You will get 15.5. Similarly, for the next one also, in order to get 25.5, you look at this class boundary. So 20.5 plus 30.5 divided by 2 to get 25.5. So in this way, you calculate each and every class mark. each and every class mark. Once you finish calculating the class marks, you finish with the fourth column. Now we shall see which one should I take as my assumed mean. Which one should my assumed mean? As I told you, any one of these values you can take as your assumed mean. There is no restriction as such. But we normally choose a value that is in betweens. Okay, that is in between all these values. And which is the middlemost value here? The middlemost value here is 45.5. That is why I have chosen this as my assumed mean. Okay, so you choose the middlemost value as your A, assumed mean. So I've chosen A is equal to 45.5. This is the middlemost value. Okay, now here it is mentioned that you have to calculate the mean by shortcut method or deviation method. Okay, so that is why the next column will be for my D. D is equal to x minus A. So this column is for D is equal to x minus A. And what is A? A here is, we have assumed 45.5. Okay. So for your first row, x here is 15.5. So for the first row, what is D? 15.5 minus 45.5 for your first row only. So this comes to minus 30. I have minus 30 here. For this one, for the second row, deviation D is x. What is x here? X here is 25.5. 25.5, and my A is fixed 45.5. So this will give you minus 20. Okay. Similarly for all the columns here, what is my x for this one? For this, how do we calculate the deviation? What is x here? X here is 35.5, and A we have taken 45.5. Okay, so this is minus 10. Okay, and so on. It's due for all the columns. Let me do till this here. This is actually 45.5 minus 45.5. So that is why it is 0. Okay, and the next one here is 55.5 minus 45.5, and so on for the other two also. Okay, so that is what you're going to get as your deviations. Okay, now what you do is what do you do in your deviation method? You multiply the frequency and the deviations. So for each row, you will multiply your frequency and the deviations. So you make the column for F into D. So make the column for F into D, this column. The frequency into the deviations. 2 into minus 30 will give you minus 60. 6 into minus 20 will give you minus 120. 10 into minus 10 will give you minus 100. Okay, 12 into 0 will give you 0. 9 into 10 will give you 90. 7 into 20 will give you 140. 4 into 30 will give you 120. Okay, so you calculate F into D for each column, the product of frequency and deviation. Okay, once you have done this, now you know that the formula for mean is, according to the according to deviation method, you know mean x bar is equal to A plus summation sigma FD by sigma F. So sigma FD and sigma F. So that means you have to total. Sigma FD means total of this column. Okay, summation of FD, addition of all the FDs. So you add up this column. Okay, and you add up this column, you get summation FD to be 70. Okay, and you add up, because I have a summation F here.
How 70 came?
If the addition is wrong, then that is a different thing. But summation is summation. You have to add up. Okay. How much should it add up to? Tell me. Should it be different? Yes, Vivek, tell me.
No, sir, I was asking how to find that EFD.
Summation FD.
Yes, sir.
How to find the total? You take the total. First, you add all the plus signs. 140 plus 90 plus 120. Okay. Minus, and then you take the negative ones. 60 plus 120 plus 100. Okay. It should come to 70. Now you understood.
Yes, sir.
So this is your summation FD. And next, because you have a summation F here, so we'll take the total of the F column also. This column. So this should be your summation F, which for some reason I have not written, but summation F. Summation F should be 50 if you add up. So summation F is 50. So therefore, what is X bar? Mean. It is also what is A we have taken? A we have taken as 45.5. So just put the values A 45.5 plus summation FD 70 divided by summation F plus 7 by 5 is 1.4. So you get 46.9. This is your mean by shortcut method or deviation method. Okay. They have specified the method here. See, in 2014, this problem actually came and they have specified the method. Calculate the mean of the distribution by using shortcut method. So if you use your step deviation method, you'll get a 0. So let us now discuss the next one. The next problem here is again a little different. If the mean of the following distribution is 7.5, find the missing frequency f. So in the earlier problem, what was different? In the earlier problem, what I found was different was that only here class limits were given. Otherwise, everything was the same. I just converted the class limits of class boundaries and all the other things were same. Okay, that was the only difference here. So each problem in your miscellaneous problems actually have something a little different. Okay, so if you see the next problem, if the mean of the following distribution is 7.5, find the missing frequency f. So here the difference is that all the frequencies are not given. In fact, here the mean is given and you have to find this missing frequency here. This f is the missing frequency here. You have to find that. That is the difference of this problem with the other problem. But still, again, we will use the direct method to find out f. Okay. So how do you proceed with this kind of a problem? So again, you make your columns. The first column will be for your variate. Variate is the variable of which you want to find the mean. This is your x. Okay. And frequency here is f. So you make the first column for your x, the second column for your f. Okay. And we'll make the third column for fx. Okay. We are going to do this by, because this is not a, this does not contain class intervals. So we'll do this by direct method. Okay. This is distribution is called what? Can anyone say what kind of a distribution this is called? I have told you earlier also. What kind of a distribution is it called? Simple frequency distribution it's called, or it is also called as ungrouped frequency distribution. Can you see class intervals here? No, class intervals are not there. That means this is an ungrouped frequency distribution, also called as the simple frequency distribution. This is because it has no class intervals. Okay, it has no class intervals. That's why if you see the variate here, does it have class intervals? No, it does not have. So my first column in the solution will be for the variate, which is x, with the variable for which we want to find the mean. The second will be for frequency f, and the third will be for product of f and x, as we have done in our direct method here. In the first problem, the direct method, remember we are calculating f into x. So that is what we will do. So f into x we will calculate. For each one we calculate f into x. So this for the first one we have f into x as 5 into 20 to give you 100, 6 into 17 to give you 102, and so on for each one. Now, once you have calculated this, what you know is that the mean for a direct distribution, for a ungrouped frequency distribution by direct method, is mean is equal to summation of sigma fx divided by sigma f. This is what formula that we know. So that means we need to calculate sigma fx. Now, what is sigma fx? Sigma fx is nothing but the total of this column for fx. So you total this column. Okay, now what you see here is that 7 into f that we have got here, the product of 7 into f is 7f. Okay, so we take that 7f into the sum also. If you add up everything, 100 plus 102 plus 8 plus 7f plus 80 plus 72 plus 60 plus 77 plus 72, you will get this as 558 plus 7f. Okay, so here what are you getting? Summation fx is equal to all the observations, 100 plus 102 plus 7f plus 80 plus 72 plus 60, 77, 72. You get this as 558 plus 7f. Okay, this is summation fx you are getting. And you also need to calculate the summation of f. So you can add up this column also. So summation f. Summation f is the sum of all this 20 plus 17 plus you have one f also here plus 10, 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 6. So you get this as 74 plus f. Okay, so you've got summation of x, you've got summation f. Now put it. Therefore, what is the mean given here? The mean here in the question, if you see, the mean is given to be 7.5. So we put 7.5 in place of this mean. So 7.5 is equal to summation fx we have found out to be 558 plus 7f. Summation f is 74 plus f. Okay. Now you simply solve this equation. Cross multiply first. 74 into 7.5 is 555 plus 7.5f is equal to 558 plus 7f. Next, you take all the f's on one side. You have 7.5 f minus 7f is equal to 558 minus 555. That means you get 0.5f is equal to 3. That means f is equal to 3 by 0.5, which can also be written as 30 by 5. So you cancel this, you get 6. So the missing frequency that was there was 6. We have calculated the value of f. Any questions on this problem? No question? Can all of you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Sir, no questions.
Okay. We'll proceed with the next one then. The following distribution shows the daily pocket allowance of children of a locality. The mean pocket allowance is rupees 18. Again, the mean is given here. Find the value of f. This time, if you see, the difference between the earlier problem and this problem is that the class intervals are given. Here we have a group frequency distribution. If you see daily pocket allowance here, this is a class interval. So this is called a grouped frequency distribution. And in the group frequency distribution, what do you see? What kind of intervals are these? You see that they are overlapping, 11 to 13, and then you have 13 to 15, and then you have 15 to 17, and then you have 17 to 19. So these are all class boundaries that are given to you. They're all class boundaries. Okay. So that means the first thing here is you must see what mean is given. The mean here is given to be mean pocket allowance. The mean here is the pocket allowance here is the mean. So that means this obviously this class intervals we will be calculating the mean of this class intervals, and this is what this is our frequency. Okay, so we'll make the first column for class boundaries. Okay, and class boundary 11 to 13, 13 to 15, and so on. The second column will be for your frequencies. And remember, because it is a group frequency distribution, we shall make a third column for mid values or class mark. So these are my mid values. So 12 is how are we getting this 12? 11 plus 13 by 2. Okay. How are we getting this 14? 14 is 13 plus 15 by 2. Okay, this 13 plus 15 by 2. And this one is 11 plus 13 by 2. So lower class boundary plus upper class boundary divided by 2. The second one we are getting 14 in this manner. Okay, and so on for all the others. Now, after calculating the class mark, we need to see which one can I take as my mid value. So which mid value or my class, not mid value, in fact, the assumed mean. Which one I can take as my assumed mean. So assumed mean, I told you, you can take any one value from all this. Okay, from your column for x. What we do is we take the middle value here. So we take a is equal to 18. Now next what we do is we calculate the deviations. Okay, I have done this by step deviation method. Okay, I have found the value of f by step deviation method. Remember, you can also use deviation method. Okay, step deviation method normally we use because step deviation method actually lessens a lot of work. Okay, lot of calculation, and the chances for mistake in step deviation method is also lower. So I have used step deviation method. The next column that I have made here is for d is equal to x minus a. I have calculated the deviations. Okay, and deviations about what? About the assumed mean, which is 18. So d is equal to x minus 18. Okay, so what is my x here? For the first row, which one is my x? For the first row, my x is 12. So how am I getting this deviation? Minus 6. X, which is 12, minus, we have assumed the mean 18. So 12 minus 18 will give you minus 6. For the next one, how are we getting 14 here? In fact, not here. In fact, how are we getting minus 4, not 14? How are we getting d is equal to minus 4 here? What we are doing here is have my x as 14 minus, and you have the assumed mean as 18. Taking 14 minus 18 is equal to minus 4. Okay, and similarly, how are we getting this this 2 here? How are you getting this 2 here? This is my value of x, 20, and my assumed mean is 18, getting 2. So similarly, you do for all the others. Okay. So once we have calculated the deviations, now we calculate y, because we are doing I have done by step deviation method. So now what you do is the next column that you make will be for y. Deviations divided by class width. What is the class width here? If you see, what is the class width? 13 minus 11, which is 2, isn't it? 15 minus 13. Class width is 2, isn't it? So this is d divided by 2. Okay. So how are we calculating the class width? D for the first one, see, d here is minus 6. So minus 6 divided by 2. Minus 6 divided by 2 will give you a minus 3. Next, minus 4 divided by 2 will give you a minus 2, and so on. Not this minus 2. For this one, minus 1, it is minus 2. This is my value of x, minus 2. Minus 2 divided by 2 will give me a 1, minus 1, and so on. Okay, so you calculate y for each of the rows. And finally, you make your last column for the product of f and y. Okay, so your last column will be for product of frequency and this y. Okay, so frequency into y is, this is your frequency and this is your y. Again, as I told you, please cover with your fingers while writing. Please cover these two columns so that you don't confuse. Okay, we are multiplying these two. So 3 into minus 3 will give you a minus 9. 6 into minus 2 will give you a minus 12. 9 into minus 1 will give you a minus 9, and so on you do for all the elements, all the for all the rows. Okay, what is the formula for step deviation method? Mean x bar is equal to a plus summation sigma fy by sigma f into c, isn't it? This was the formula for step deviation method. So let's see what the values are here. Assume mean we have taken as 18. Assume mean we have taken as 18 here. Okay. Next, summation fy. Summation fy or sigma fy is the total of this column. So if you total this column, how much it will come to? 12 plus 10 plus f minus 9 plus 12 plus 9. Okay. So this should come to minus 8 plus f. Okay, so summation fy we have found out. That is the total of the fy column. Next, what we have is summation f or sigma f. Summation f. Summation f is the total of this column. So 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 13 plus f plus 5 plus 4 will give you a 40 plus f. Okay, so this is your summation f. And what is the class width here? C. Class width here, C is 2. So therefore now just put the value. Therefore mean. What is the mean given here? You have to calculate the missing frequency. So what is the mean given here? The mean pocket allowance is given to be rupees 18. So here x bar is 18. So therefore 18 is equal to 18, which is my A. So mean here is 18. A here is 18. I have put. Next, plus summation fy or sigma fy is minus 8 plus f. So this quantity in the numerator is minus 8 plus f. So minus 8 plus f divided by sigma f. Sigma f here is 40 plus f. 40 plus f into the class width. Class width here is 2. Okay, so this now we are going to simply solve this equation. How do you solve this equation? If you see here, this 18 and this 18 will cancel from both sides. So you're simply going to be left with twice of minus 8 plus f divided by 40 plus f is equal to 0. Now you cross multiply, you get twice of minus 8 plus f is equal to 0. That means minus 8 plus f is equal to 0. That means simply f is equal to 8. Okay. So this is how we calculate the missing frequency in the case of a frequency distribution being given to you. Now remember, when a frequency distribution is given to, I have used a step deviation method here. If you want, you can use deviation method only. Okay, you can omit this column. Okay, instead of this column, you can simply make the column for f into d. Okay, you can calculate fd and then use your formula for uh, your deviation method. What is the formula for deviation method? Mean x bar is equal to a plus sigma ft divided by sigma f. This is the formula for your direct method, for your deviation method or shortcut method. So you choose your a as whatever, and you make the column for fd. Okay, you add up the column for fd, put it here, and add up the column for f, put it here. Okay, and mean is given to you, and assume mean you write as whatever assume mean you have taken, and then you calculate the value of f. I have used step deviation method. If you want, you can use deviation method also for this problem. I would recommend that you try it with deviation method at home, and if you have any problem, then ask. Okay. Okay, so I have only 2 problems left here. Okay, and so I stop here for